James Meredith is a hero to me. He's a hero to the University of Mississippi. He's a hero to our nation.
Is he a hero?
Is he a hero?
Sure, he's a hero.
I have no idea what that could mean.
Definitely, I think a hero in what he represented and the courage that it required for him to be the first African-American student and to deal with the struggle and the challenges that he faced at that time.
Without question, I think he's a hero. I think he's a real-life hero.
James Meredith gave Mississippi back its soul.
He is a hero. He is a hero.
Oh, without a doubt, James Meredith is an absolute hero.
Well, he is to me, and I think he is to a lot of people. I think he should be to everyone, even though there are people who might disagree with that.
Like I said, I wouldn't call him a hero. I think he did what he needed to do at that time and at that place, and I think there's so many folks who are very appreciative for what he did and what he went through and the courage he displayed.
I don't know whether James Meredith is a hero, but what he did is heroic.
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I think, yes, he's a hero because it takes the courage to come back then, but I don't know. I have to talk to him.
James Meredith obviously is a very interesting and very complicated man. And he does not have the same thought process that a lot of us ordinary human beings have. He would not have done what he did at Ole Miss had he not been an extraordinary man.
He astonishes everyone who thinks that he is kind of out of the mold of the civil rights warriors who are, Democrats or radical left, and he'll be the first to tell you that he's conservative and he's basically a Republican, and very proud of it. And he's been allied with some fairly strange company, David Duke and Jesse Helms, but hell, that's his right. James Meredith wants to be a card-carrying Republican. Happily, he's got the right to do so.
I think he has an interesting reputation in the state and beyond, and he's not always popular among civil rights veterans and some civil rights activists because he really does question everything.
He's lived his life in a certain way that's been controversial, but I don't think any of the controversy, you can just say, I disagree with him and move on.
He was always a guy who marched to a different drummer. Let's say that.
The fact that he thinks that way is the reason that he was the one who did it. Did this crazy thing at Ole Miss because he is willing to be his own person. And what I try to get at with Mr. Meredith in interviews and when I talk to people about him is that that's who he is. He's a remarkably courageous person. He's a deep thinker. Sometimes that takes you to strange places and you're going, now what are you talking about? But I swear, if you get the opportunity to listen to him for 5 more minutes, you'll get it.
Meredith sets his own course. Sometimes I think he takes a little delight in going in a different way. But I would obviously have to let him speak for himself on that. I have a lot of regard and a lot of respect for him as an independent thinker.
I ran into him at Kroger the other night, and he's sitting there watching people, go by, and he had this kind of cultural commentary. He was talking about the obesity he saw and the food that people were buying, and he sees those things, and he can look at that and say that this is part of our problem today, is that Mississippians are not healthy.